Welcome back, students, to the last concept of nature and significance of management, that is levels of management. Levels of management. Okay. Now, as we know, management is a universal term which is used to perform certain functions in an enterprise by the individual who have to carry on the activities together in a hierarchy relationship. Now, what is this hierarchy relationship? Every individual in a hierarchy is responsible for completion of a task. So, every individual has been given sufficient authority, that is right to take decision. So, this authority and responsibility binds the individual in a superior subordinate relationship. So, authority and responsibility binds the individual in an enterprise which gives a superior and subordinate relationship. This ultimately gives rise to different levels in the organization. So, because of performing different tasks, individual performing different tasks, they have to achieve the organizational goals. They bind together. This binding of togetherness, binding together, gives a authority and responsibility relationship, which means it creates a superior subordinate relationship. This gives rise to different levels in the organization. Generally speaking, there are 3 levels in the organization. We can call as levels of management. Okay. So let me explain it with a diagram. You have the top management, then you have the middle management, and you have the operational management. So these are the 3 levels in the management. Now you see the top management. When we say top management, okay, so they are in the helm at the topmost level in the organizations. Who are this? This top management consists of the senior officers, executive officers, like you have the chairman, you have the president, the vice president, you have the CEO and COO, that is Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officers. So these are at the helm, whose main function or task is to frame the organizational objectives. So they may be heading different functional levels. So they are the divisional heads. We can call it as vice president of marketing department, or we can call them as chief finance officer or chief financial analyst. So they are the persons who integrate the efforts, the elements of the individuals towards the accomplishment of the organizational goals. So their task is very important, stressful. They have to go on for a long hours and they have to commit to the organization. So in the top management, we have the personals, the chairman, you have the president, vice president, CEO and COO. So these are at the topmost level, whose main function is to integrate the efforts of the individuals at the next level or in the different departments of the organization and get the work done. See that the plan is executed, implemented, and the organizational goals are achieved. Okay. Next you have the middle management. So as you see in the diagram, middle management is a link between the top management and the operational management. We call it as the lower level. So middle management consists of the divisional heads. We can call them as the divisional heads. The production manager, or we call them as the sales manager. Okay. So these are the link between the top management. So top management will be their superiors, and you have the operational management, lower level, they will be their subordinates. That is the first line managers. The first line managers in the operational management level will be their subordinates. So their task is very important. They receive the instructions from the top management and they have to pass on it to their subordinates. They have to see that the plans what are framed, what are decided by the top management are implemented and executed by the lower level in the management. So we have these personals, the divisional heads, they are called as production manager, sales manager. So it is again the task of this manager who integrates the individuals in different departments. So integrates production department, sales, finance, HR. So it is very important. There is coordination, integration of the efforts of the individuals in different departments, connect them and see that the work is done accordingly in order to achieve the organizational goals. Finally, we have the operational management. Operational management consists of the first line managers we call supervisors. It is also called as the supervisory management or supervisory level. Supervisors and the foremen. These are the actual workforce who carry on the work as per the plans framed by the top management. So execution of the plan, the implementation and the execution of the plan takes place in the operational management, in the lower level management in the organization through the instructions of the middle management. Okay. So actual work is done here through the supervisor who oversees the work of the workforce and sees that the work is done and the organizational goal is achieved. Okay. The quality of the workmanship and the quantity of the output depends upon the discipline and the loyalty of the workforce. In order to see that the work is done, they have to, the managers here, they have to see that necessary personnel is whatever is required in the organization has that necessary personnel, necessary resources are made available. All this has to be made available, then only the plans as per the top management will be executed in the lower level in the organization and the aims or the organizational goals will be achieved. Okay. So this is regarding the levels of management. Usually this is a practical oriented question. Okay. You may be asked to draw the levels of management, 3 levels divided, and give the examples of the personnel involved in the different levels. So in the top management we have the chairman, president, vice president, CEO, COO, whose main task is to frame the plans, strategies and develop that and see that it is executed by the middle level, instructions given, executed, implemented there and executed at the lower level. In the middle management we have the divisional heads, that is production manager, sales manager, HR manager, who are integrating the efforts of the each department and coordinating with the different department so that the organizational goals are achieved. Finally, in the operational management or supervisory level we have the supervisors and the foremen. Okay. These are the actual personals who execute the plan. Okay. So the quantity of the output and the quality of the workforce depends on the discipline and the loyalty of the workforce. So these are the main person who are responsible to carry out or execute the plans. Okay. So that is the levels of management, a 5 marks concept, mostly asked as a practical oriented question. The next part is the functions of management. Functions of management. Now, as you've seen, management is described as the process of, we have seen in the meaning, in the concept regarding management, management is described as the process of planning, organizing, directing and controlling organizational members and using organizational resources to achieve specific goals. So this is what we have studied in the concept of management. Management is described as the process of planning, organizing, directing and controlling. What? Controlling organization, controlling the efforts of organizational members, that is people in the organization, and also the organizational resources to achieve the specific goals. So these are the different functions we come across now. So first we have the function of planning. Okay. So the planning is the primary function. So first in that we have planning, then it is organizing, then we have staffing, directing and controlling. Planning, organizing, directing and controlling. Staffing, directing and controlling. Now let me go to the first function, planning. Okay. Now what is planning? Okay. There's a saying that, it's a saying, nobody plans to fail, but everybody fails to plan. Everybody fails to plan. So just a saying, nobody plans to fail, but everybody fails to plan. So what is this planning? If you have planning, generally, if you have planning anywhere it may be, any situation, then we can achieve the goal, whatever it is. Okay? Keeping in mind the various situations. So planning is, okay, predetermination. We keep in mind the future. Okay. Planning is deciding in advance. So in organization, this is just a saying, as I told, nobody plans to fail, but everybody fails to plan. So maybe I can connect it to the real life situation, like the planning of our the activities or the precautions to be taken at of the pandemic COVID-19. It was a little delayed. Okay, if it was taken up right at the beginning, then India would not have seen so many positive cases. So it may be the planning should have done a little more earlier. So we have failed there. Okay, so later on a planning was done and a lockdown was taken. Lockdown was decided and everything went off, and it is going on now. So planning has to be done accordingly at the right time. So planning in organization is, it is the function of the management. Planning is deciding in advance. Okay, it is deciding in advance what to do, okay, how to do it, and who has to do it. Okay. So it is deciding in advance. In advance you decide what you have to do, what to do, okay, how you have to go about it, how to do it, and who is the concerned person who has to do it. Okay. So this planning is, it can say, it seeks to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to go. So it is a bridge which fills the gap between where you are and where you want to go. Okay. So planning has to be done in the organization as a primary function, and it is deciding in advance future course of action. We say deciding in advance means future course of action, keeping the forecast, keeping the future in mind, the uncertainties, you keep all that in mind, and likewise you frame the plans, these strategies. So deciding in advance what to do, how to do, and who has to do it. This planning bridges the gap from where you are and where you want to go. So it is, planning is a primary function, deciding in advance. You can call it as future course of action. Okay, future course of action. So that is called as planning. Okay, the simple meaning of that. In detail you have the chapter 4, which is planning, all the functions of the management as given as the chapter. So in detail you will be dealing there. Okay. Next I will just mention about the process in planning. So even though you have planned, we cannot prevent the problem. Likewise we can see the pandemic, we cannot prevent, but we can see that our cases are limited, minimized. So planning does not mean prevent the problem, but we can find a solution and we can predict somewhat, we predict the future and prepare ourselves to face the future. So it cannot prevent the problem fully, we simply prepare ourselves, we can't predict, we prepare ourselves to face the future, to face the uncertainties in future. Now in planning we have the process. So the planning process, it is setting the objectives. Main is the reaching the target. So for reaching the target, we should know the objectives. So setting objectives, planning process consists of setting objectives, developing the premises, identifying the different alternative course of actions. If one plan does not work, we should have alternative courses. Then evaluating each course of action, selecting the best course and implementing it. So setting the objectives, as I have told, we have studied about the levels of management. Setting the objectives is the work of the top management. Okay, they develop the premises, then evaluation of identification of the different courses of action is done, evaluation is done, they select the best. Okay, and then it is the implementing, which is done by the middle level, and the actual work execution is carried on the lower level. So implementing the course of action and the follow-up action. Follow-up, the lower level will execute the plan and follow-up is done by the middle, and then it is again the information is, feedback is given to the top management. So it is the planning process, setting objectives, developing premises, identification of alternative courses of action, evaluation of alternative courses of action, select the best course of action, implement the course of action and have the follow. So that is regarding planning, the primary function of management. Okay. Next we move on to organizing. Organizing, organization, what is it? So it is the process of organizing, is the process of defining and grouping the activities in the organization of the enterprise and establishing authority relationship among them. Okay, so it is the process of defining and grouping the activities of the enterprises, defining and grouping the activities of the enterprises and establishing authority relationship among them. So organization structure is created. Okay, organization structure is created. Again, it is the hierarchy of relationship we have studied in the levels of management. So we know what is the organization structure, whether it is divisional or functional, it can be any type. So as per that, it should be manned. Okay, the resources are acquired, the human resources and the material resources, and then defining and grouping is done. Organizing is defining and grouping the activities. The subordinate superior relationship is created in the levels of the management. So each one will be defined what is the work he has to done, grouping of activities is done, and they establish the authority relationship. Superior subordinate relationship is created here. Okay, that is called as organizing. So in the organizing process, duties, assigning of duties is done. The top level management, they will delegate some of the responsibilities, authorities to the middle level. Okay, middle level to the lower level. Middle level has certain freedom in the authority, but the authority and responsibility, authority is limited in the lower level, responsibility is more. Authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. These are the elements in organizing. You will study detail in the chapter organizing. Okay, so in this organizing, it says it is the process of defining and grouping the activities of the enterprise and establishing authority relationship among them. Who is the superior, who is the subordinate, that is called as organizing. Okay, we go to the process, just in brief, the process of organizing. First, you identify and divide the work, identification and division of work. Okay, identify the work, defining and grouping of activities. Okay, then departmentalization according to the department. Next is departmentalization. Which department? Production, okay, whether it is marketing, whether it is finance, HR. Departmentalization, you are defining your work as per your qualification, as per your eligibility. Okay, the departmentalization is done and you are given the job there. Then assigning of duties, you are given your particular task to be performed, assigning duties, and finally establishing reporting relationship. That is, authority relationship means reporting relationship. Who has to report to whom? From whom you have to receive the order, to whom you are answerable, to whom you are accountable. Okay, from whom you have to receive the order, to whom you have to give the feedback. So it is, first is identification and division of work in the process, departmentalization, assigning of duties, establishing reporting relationship, that is in organizing process. So organizing meaning it is process of defining and grouping activities of the enterprise, establishing authority relationship among them. That's a second function. Now we move on to the third function, that is staffing. Staff. Staffing means a person, a man, or simply we call it as manning the organization. Manning the organization. Okay, manning the organization. Manning the organization means, again, it is the process of finding the right people for the right job. Right people for the right job with the right qualification at the right time. So staffing, we can say it is the process of finding the right people for the right job at the right place. So when you say right people, it is with right qualification. Okay, the qualification, eligibility, what is required, it should be with the right qualification available at the right place. It is also, staffing is also known as, manning means human, it is also known as human resource function. Staffing function is also called as human resource function. So it is the process of management which is concerned with, I can give you the meaning as process of management which is concerned with obtaining utilizing and maintaining a satisfactory and satisfied workforce. Satisfied workforce. Okay, so simply we can say it is finding the right people for the right job available at the right place with the right qualification. So the exact meaning, it says it's a process of management which is concerned with obtaining, we obtain, you utilize and you maintain a satisfactory and a satisfied workforce. Satisfactory and satisfied workforce is very important for the organization to achieve the goals. So that is the quality of the workforce is required, as I have told. That depends upon the loyalty and discipline. If the organizational objectives have to be achieved, then it is the quality of the workforce that is the main important function here. When you're staffing, when you're manning the organization, we have to look into that eligibility, qualifications in the human resource when you're recruiting that. So in staffing, we have the process. Staffing process is a lengthy process, again 8 marks concept there, very important. First, estimating the manpower requirement. How much of manpower is required? How much of human resources is required in the organization? That you will come to know once the level of management is formed, the organization structure is formed. So manning the organization, estimate the manpower requirement. Once you estimate, then easily you can recruit. So estimating the manpower requirement, recruiting, selecting, okay, then you have the placement, orientation, okay, you have training, development, you have performance appraisal, promotion, and then you have the career planning. So in staffing process includes estimating of manpower which is required for the organization, recruiting, selection, placement and orientation, training and development, performance appraisal, promotion, career, finally the staffing, manpower, work in the organization for what? That is compensation, remuneration. So it is a lengthy process in the staffing process, it involves different steps there in the staffing process. So staffing is finding the right people for the right job with the right qualification available at the right place, simple meaning. It also says it is the process of management which is concerned with obtaining, utilizing and maintaining a satisfactory and a satisfied workforce, that is called as staffing. Next function is directing. Directing. So here directing we say. For example, we say, simply speaking, we can say the director of a movie, what he does, a music director, a film director, what he does. He directs the actors, actress accordingly what act has to be performed. So according to his instructions, according to the guidelines, the actor or the actress performs. That is called as directing. Same way, a teacher directs the student to complete their assignment or to complete the project. That is called as directing. So directing is leading, influencing, issuing guidelines, instructing a person to perform his task. So it can be put as, it is the process of, it's a process of instructing, guiding, counseling, instructing, guiding, counseling, motivating and leading people in the organization to achieve the organizational objectives or organizational goals. So directing is issuing instructions, giving guidelines, leading them, motivating them in order to get the work done. So directing is the process of instructing, giving instructions, giving guidelines, okay, guiding them, giving guidelines, counseling them, helping them out, come out from the very challenging zone and make it a comfortable zone, making them to take up that challenge and make it as at ease. Motivating them, creating a desire within them to work. They have the ability to work, sometimes they don't work, have the qualification, eligibility, simply waste the time, idle time. So they motivate. The manager's work is to motivate the people in the organization towards the achievement of the goal. Also leading, bringing up in them the leadership quality, leading the people in the organization to achieve the organization goals. So with the instructions, the manager's task is very important and it has to be carefully done. Okay. So directing can be done through praise as well as criticism. Okay. To get the best out of the person, you have to praise him. At the same time, you have to criticize also. Criticism also will bring out the best in a person in the organization. So it involves both praise as well as criticism. So these are you have the elements in the directions we have seen here. One is motivating, a very important. Then you have the leading, that is called as leadership, and we have supervision and communication. Okay. So supervision also involves in direction, you have to oversee the work. Director oversees the work, whether the work is done by his subordinates, by the people in the organization. The director is a manager here. He also works as a supervisor to see whether the work is executed, the plan is executed as per the top level management, framed as per the, drawn up by the top level management. So direction or directing is the process of instructing, guiding, counseling, motivating and leading the people in the organization to achieve the organizational goals. The elements of directions are supervision, motivation, leadership and communication. Very important here is the motivation, which motivates the people. Motivation is required, that is taken up by the manager. He motivates his subordinates to get the work done and achieve the organization goals. Next function is controlling. Controlling. So controlling is the management function of monitoring the organizational performance. So you monitor the organizational performance, whether the organization has achieved the goals. You have the standard set and you perform, whether the actual performance is equal to the standard set. So it is the management function of monitoring the organizational performance towards the attainment of organizational goals. It is the management function of monitoring the organization's performance towards the attainment of organizational goals. Okay, organizational goals. Now this is done, ensure, the organization also ensures efficiency and effectivity. Resources are used minimum, okay, at minimum cost and effectively. So that is controlling process involved. Controlling is also goal oriented. It is continuous, required at all levels in the management, also all pervasive, required at all the levels of management. So here managerial control, we can say, what is managerial control implies? Managerial control implies, okay, accomplishment against standards and correction of deviation to assure attainment of objectives. Attainment of objectives, okay, according to the plan. So managerial control implies accomplishment against standards, okay, you are performing against the standard set. If there is any deviation, you correct the deviation. If there is any discrepancies, you correct that discrepancies to assure that you attain the objectives which is according to the plans. Objectives according to the plans which is framed by the top level management, that is called as controlling. Simply we say that it is a management function of monitoring the organization performance towards the achievement of organizational goals, but it is defined as it is a managerial control which implies accomplish against standard set. We have the set objectives, we have the set standards, we see whether the organization has achieved it or no. If there is any discrepancies, any deviation, correction of that deviation to assure attainment of objectives according to the plans. That is called as controlling. In controlling, we have it is a systematic process again. We have the setting of performance standard. First you set the standards, like setting of objective, you have the standards there. Setting of performance standards. Then measuring of actual performance. Once you set the standard, when the task is going on, you measure it. Measuring of actual performance. Okay. Then you compare whether the actual performance is up to the standard set. Comparison of actual performance with the standard set. If there is any discrepancies, okay, you note down. If there is any deviations, you analyze the deviation. You study the deviation, why there is deviation. Next is you make the correction, okay, taking up correction, taking corrective actions. Then you take up those corrective actions. You may not have sufficient resources, or the manpower is not sufficient. You make that correction. Then you achieve the organizational goals. So in systematic process of controlling involves setting performance standards, measuring actual performance, comparison of actual performance with set standards, analyzing the deviation if there is any deviation, taking corrective actions. Finally, why there is deviation, if there is any discrepancies, if one particular plan does not work, why it is, why there is deviation, they are going out of the way. You make the corrections. Resources not sufficient, insufficient, or manpower is insufficient. So you provide more of the human resources, you provide both material as well as manpower, or the objective set is not very clear. So maybe that objectives. So for that objective, accordingly you have to make the corrections, how it can be set. Okay. So setting performance standard, measuring the actual performance, comparison of actual performance with set standards, analyzing deviation, take corrective action. That is the controlling process. Okay. So these are the 5 important functions of management. First one was planning. Okay. It is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, who has to do it, bridges a gap from where we are and where we want to go. Okay. So that is a very primary function of management, very important. Then organizing. It is a process of defining and grouping the activities of an enterprise and establishing authority relationship among them. Then it is staffing, finding the right person for the right job at the right place, or manning the organization we say, or it is concerned with the acquiring, okay, obtaining, utilizing and maintaining the satisfactory and satisfied workforce in the organization. Directing, it is the process of instructing, guiding, leading, motivating, counseling and leading the people in the organization towards the achievement of the organization goals. Finally, you have the controlling, that is, it implies accomplishment against standards and correction of deviations if any to assure attainment of organizational goals according to the plans. Okay, 5 plans, very important 8 marks concept. What are the, explain the management functions. Fine. Now we have a concept called as coordination. Okay, coordination, the essence of management. Okay. This can be regarded again as a separate function of management. Okay, separate function of management. By now we have understood that management has to perform different tasks, varieties of activities. So that involves planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. So all these functions are performed by the management in the organization. The manager has to see that all this work is carried on towards the achievement of the organization goals. So a manager is a he is linking the diverse group towards the achievement of the organization goal. So manager has the task of linking the diverse group towards the achievement of organizational goals. So there requires coordination. The process by which the manager synchronizes the activities of all the departments in the organization can be called as coordination. Okay, so the manager has to link the diverse group in the organization towards the achievement of the organizational goal. He has to perform all the activities involving the planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. We have studied all these different functions. So he has a number of tasks to be performed. So he is a link there who performs, who integrates, who brings in together the diverse group as individual or as group for the attainment of the organizational goals. So coordination, we can say, it is the process by which the manager synchronizes, integrates the activities of all the departments in the organization or of an enterprise. So here, this coordination, it is the force that binds all the other functions in the organization. So it is a force that binds all the other functions of the organization. We can say coordination is a common thread which runs through all the departments in the organization, like a thread in the garland. It goes through each flowers in the garland. So coordination is like that. It runs through all the functions or the activities in all the departments. That is coordination, which is binding the activities of all the organization, and it ensures continuity of the activities in the organization towards the attainment of the organizational goals. So this coordination, the process of coordinating the activities, starts in the planning function itself. So it begins in the planning stage itself. Coordinating the different personals in the top level management. So at the top level management, when the policies are framed, top management plans the entire organization. Okay, their coordination is required. Accordingly, organization structure is developed. There also coordination is required, and staffed. That is manning the organization. To ensure the plans are executed or implemented, direction is given, instruction is given. There also coordination is required among different managers in the different department. And finally, if there is any discrepancies between actual performance and set standard, controlling is required. There also coordination is required to know what is the deviation or the discrepancies. So we can come to the meaning of coordination as it is the process, it is through the process of coordination the manager ensures orderly arrangement of the activities, that is of the individual effort and group effort, to ensure unity of action in the realization of the common objectives. So we can take the definition of this, you can take it as the meaning of coordination. So the definition of coordination, you can say, given by McFarland, it is the process by which an executive develops an orderly arrangement pattern of group efforts among his subordinates and secures unity of action, unity of action in the pursuit of common purpose. Okay. So this is a definition given by Macfarlane. He says it is a process whereby an executive, maybe a manager, develops an orderly pattern of group efforts among his subordinates and secures unity of action in the pursuit of common purpose for the attainment of organization goals. So he is creating an orderly pattern, a proper structure, a proper pattern is created, an arrangement is done where the subordinates will work, secure unity of action. Okay, very important feature of coordination. Unity ensures unity of action. Okay, when there is unity, coordination is unity, we can say. If there is no unity, then there is no coordination. Okay, in the pursuit of common purpose. Okay, that is called as Macfarlane. Simply we can explain this with the box. You have a box there. There's a story regarding the small concept regarding the Dabbawalas. That is excellence through coordination. The Dabbawalas in Mumbai, excellence through coordination. Okay. This is again neatly given, picturized in the movie called Lunchbox, where you have these Dabbawalas. Okay. It predicts the Six Sigma in this. Okay. So if you see these Dabbawalas, first Dabbawala, the first person will collect the home prepared lunch from the home. Okay. Then he goes to the nearest railway station. Okay, places the lunch box there, collects from all the houses, homes, and places to the nearest railway station. The second person there, he collects that from the railway station, sorts it to different destinations. So this home prepared lunch box goes to different offices. So second one sorts out this. Okay. The third person will carry this lunch box in a luggage carrier through the local train. So first one through his bicycle, he collects the lunch box from different houses, which has to go through different destinations, offices. The second one will be sorting to the different destinations. The third one will carry it through the luggage carrier through the local train. And the fourth one will be in the destination there, who will finally reach this. The lunch box will be reached to their destination at the offices. So there is a neat, defined, well-defined activity carried on by this neat coordination. Excellence through coordination. The Dabbawalas is the best example we can give with this coordination. Okay. Their top agenda is punctuality and time management. There can be no delay at all for the lunch box to reach the office. So they are famous for their punctuality and the time management. You know the Mumbai, busy streets of Mumbai, the local train, busy train there, but still these Dabbawalas manage to carry those tiffin from the different parts, from the different areas, get into that, sort it out, get into the luggage carrier, and then again reach it to the destination, to the offices. That is called as coordination. A good example for coordination. Dabbawalas, excellence through coordination. You can come across this in the movie called Lunchbox. Okay, so that is coordination. Now we come to the characteristics of coordination. Coordination integrates group efforts. Coordination integrates group efforts. Okay. Coordination ensures unity of action. Coordination is a continuous process. Coordination is all pervasive. Coordination is the responsibility of all managers. Coordination is a deliberate function. Okay, a very important concept again. Coordination, characteristics of coordination, 8 marks. Okay, so coordination integrates group efforts. Coordination ensures unity of action. Coordination is a continuous process. Coordination is all pervasive function. All pervasive or all pervasive function. It is the responsibility of all managers in the organization, and coordination is a deliberate function. Now, coordination integrates group efforts. We have already studied about integration. Okay, we have diverse group here. Managers integrate the unrelated diverse groups. It's a manager's task who unifies the unrelated diverse group towards the attainment of the organizational goals. So he coordinates, integrates the group efforts, each individual having different interests. These interests are integrated as groups for a purposeful common purpose. Okay, so you have a common purpose, that is achievement of the organizational goals. So it gives a common focus, achievement of the organizational goals. Coordination integrates group efforts, that is the task of the manager. The unrelated diverse groups are unified and they are given a common focus, that is attainment of the organizational goals. It ensures unity of action. The purpose of coordination is to secure unity of action. Each individual's, as I have told, repeated this is, interest in the organization is different, but their efforts are integrated by the manager and collectively are integrated as group efforts. So their coordination secures a unity of action. All individuals coming from different backgrounds, okay, this coordination works as a binding force. It binds all the actions of the individuals towards the attainment of a common purpose. So it secures or it ensures unity of action. It is a continuous process. Okay. Coordination, as I have told, it begins at planning till controlling, it is there and it goes on. So it begins at the planning stage and it continues till the controlling function. This is the last function of in the management. So it is a continuous process. There is no end for coordination in the organization. It is a continuous process. All pervasive, no, it is applicable everywhere. Okay, applicable at all levels in the management. So different levels in the management, they are interdependent. So you have the different departments in the organization, production department, you have the purchase department, sales, finance, all are interdependent. So coordination is all pervasive, required at all levels in the organization to carry on the different activities of various departments. Coordination is required. It is the responsibility of all managers, it is told. Coordination is the responsibility. Manager is very important. He is the person who coordinates the people in the different departments, coordinates the activities of the different departments. You have the production manager, you have the sales manager, purchase, you have the finance. All these managers integrate their group efforts, individuals, towards the common purpose. So it is the responsible of all the managers. In the top management, they coordinate with their subordinates regarding the development of the plans and the strategy. In the middle level, they coordinate, the managers coordinate with the top management as well as the first line managers in the supervisory level. In the supervisory or the operational management, the first line managers, that is the supervisors, they coordinate with the workforce, the foreman and the workers, laborers, in order to execute the plan which is framed by the top level management. So coordination is the responsibility of all the managers in the organization. Next you have, it is a deliberate function. Deliberate, it is done intentionally, it is required in the organization. So it is a deliberate function where it is required in order to coordinate the different people in the organization. So intentionally done, intentionally created in order to integrate the efforts of the people in the different departments so that the organizational objectives are achieved. So here, cooperation without coordination, we can say, or in the absence of coordination, may lead to waste. Even if the workforce, even if the people in the organization cooperate with each other, but there is no coordination in the work, then it may lead to waste of resources or waste of human power, manpower. And coordination without cooperation may not lead to, or it may lead to dissatisfaction. It may not lead to satisfaction. There may not be satisfactory and satisfied workforce. Coordination without cooperation will lead to dissatisfaction among the employee. Coordination is there, but forcefully they are coordinated by the manager. They have to get integrated and work, but there is no cooperation among the workforce, then it will lead to dissatisfaction among the employee. So their cooperation and coordination should go hand in hand. Only then the organization can achieve the objectives, the organizational objectives. So it is a deliberate function which is created intentionally to integrate the efforts of each individuals as group efforts and attain the organizational objectives. So cooperation without coordination may lead to waste, and coordination without cooperation may result in dissatisfaction among the employees. Okay, so these are the very important 8 marks concept. It is coordination, why it is called as the essence of management. Okay, you have the characteristics there. What are the characteristics of coordination if it is asked? Coordination integrates group efforts. Coordination ensures unity of action. Coordination is a continuous process. Coordination is all pervasive function. Coordination is the responsibility of all managers. Coordination is a deliberate function. Okay. The last concept here, that is the importance of coordination. Coordination, meaning, definition, characteristics. Next, the importance of coordination. Again, maybe a 4 marks concept. So we have there 3 points. Growth in size. Okay. Functional differentiation. Okay. Then we have specialization. specialization. So first one, growth in size. As the organization grows in size, there will be increase in employees, manpower, human resources in the organization. So these human power, manpower, or the people in the organization, they come from different background, different habits of work, knowledge, okay, their background, total, their intelligence, their thinking ability, everything is different. So in order to, all the individuals come from different background, in order to integrate them together, in order to integrate individuals' efforts towards the attainment of organizational goals, coordination is required. So when the organization grows, more number of employees increases. So these employees are recruited from various backgrounds with different knowledge, different intelligence, different mental ability. So each individual's efforts have to be integrated. So coordination is required there in order to integrate them and secure unity of action. So growth in size, increase in employees, integrating individual efforts coming from different backgrounds, coordination is required by the manager. So the manager coordinates each individual efforts towards the achievement of the organizational goals. Next is functional differentiation. So we have known that there are different departments in the organization. We have the purchase, production, marketing, sales, finance. Each department have their own objectives, own functions. Now marketing department, for example, their objective is to increase the sales by 10%, okay, to increase the sales, reach that target. Okay. Now in order to reach that target, okay, they give an offer of 10% discount. Okay. This will affect the finance department. Now marketing manager and the finance manager, they have to coordinate with each other, or else there will be conflict. 10% discount will affect the fund, the finance, business finance involved in the organization. So coordination among different departments in the organization is required to achieve individual objectives of the departments. All overall objective is the same, higher profits or whatever objective is set by the organization. But when each department has their own functions, their own objectives, it has to be coordinated. There should be coordination between the different managers, so there is no conflict in the organization. So functional, in order to see that there is no conflict between the different departments, coordination is required. Okay. Finally, you have specialization. So modern organization is characterized by higher degree of specialization. That may be, it may be the outcome of the complexities of modern technology. So organization now recruit a specialist for the organizations to carry on the task in the organization when you are using sophisticated technology. These specialists sometimes think that they have the right to judge, evaluate and decide on their own. So when the specialist experts are recruited, when they join the organization, they have a thinking that they can evaluate, judge and take decision on their own without consulting the others in the organization. So again, there is a reason, there is a conflict. There is a conflict between the specialist and others in the organization who have been carrying on their task. So again, coordination is required to coordinate the efforts of the specialist and the others in the organization. So there will be no conflicts in future. There will no conflicts will not arise in the future. So specialists, when they think they can do, they have the right to take decisions which will affect the others in the organization. This gives rise to conflicts. In order to solve this, In order to give a solution to the conflict, coordination in the organization is required. So again, that is the task of the manager. So see, there is no conflicts in the organization and the work is carried on smoothly for the main purpose, that is the achievement of the organization goals. So these are the three importance of coordination. Growth in size, when the size grows of the organization grows, employees, number of employees grows, they come from different background, you have to integrate their efforts. Each individual will be different. Manager integrates his efforts. For integration, coordination is required, and he secures unity of action towards the accomplishment of organization goals. Functional differentiation, each department has their own functional objectives. So when the marketing department has to increase sales, he offers a 10% discount. He has to consult it with the finance department, or else there will be a conflict between that. So in order to avoid that, again, coordination between the managers of different departments is required, important. Finally, specialization. It is the modern organization is a result of the specialization. There is higher degree of specialization, modern technology, sophisticated technology. So they recruit specialists who think they can evaluate, judge and take decisions on their own, which will sometimes disturb the others in the organization. They will have conflict again. So again, coordination, manager tries to coordinate the efforts of these and see that the organizational goals are achieved. So the importance, three importance of coordination. Okay. Again, this may be a 4 marks concept. So in today's class, we have covered the topics of levels of management, which is mostly the practical oriented question. We have 3 levels: top management, middle management and operational or supervisory management. You may be asked to give the examples of personnel. In the top management, we have chairman, president, vice president, CEO, COO, and in the middle management, we have the divisional heads as production manager, sales manager, finance or HR manager, and in the operational or supervisory level, we have the supervisors, foremen and the inspectors. Then we came to the management functions. Okay. Management functions, we have seen planning, organizing, staffing, directing and control. Important 5 functions of the management, which each management function will be dealt in detail after the chapter 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Okay. Then it is the essence of management, that is coordination. Coordination meaning, definition, we have seen the characteristics and finally the importance of coordination. So here we come to the end of the chapter 1, nature and significance of management. Thank you, students.